Okay, Blood Doctor Thal'ena. Can I say that? I'm in a 4/5/1 Blood Rune. Battlecry get a second hero power that costs corpses, and it's undead. The second hero power will be give a minion +3 attack. This costs corpses instead of mana. Do we think this is going to be good? I think there is a good chance that this card is just playable because having 2 options for a hero power to weave in your mana is pretty decent. 5 and a 4/5 is kind of ass, though. That's the problem. But in theory, you could use the 3 corpses immediately, and that's pretty cool. That's cool. There's cards that interact very positively as well with getting more attack for undeads, and that's awesome. And you can also use it on your hero power as some kind of win condition as long as you have corpses. If you don't have corpses, I don't know if they answer this. If you don't have corpses, can you still spend 3 mana on the hero power or no? I'm guessing you can't because like the line of text is this costs corpses instead of mana. Oh, thank God Alex is here. Okay, what's up, Alex? I love when Alex is here when I talk about cards because then he answers all my questions I have, man. It has potential. Okay, with a card like this, it's like if there's a deck that needs it, it probably just slots right in, but we'll have to wait and see. Dark Bribe. 2 mana, draw 3 cards, pick 1 to give to your opponent. Demon Hunter, I think, has enough draw density where I don't think this is horrible, but if you do get a card that's just bad and you can give it to your opponent, that's fine. I don't know what the entire archetype is for Demon Hunter, so we'll have to wait and see how Dark Bribe interacts with some stuff. I wonder if there's going to be a card in this, and I genuinely don't know. If it's like if you gave your opponent a card this game, do this effect, something along those lines. So maybe that is something to consider. I don't think it's like super powerful, but 2 mana draw 3 is really interesting, right? Well, we'll have to wait and see. You can maybe give your opponents, like, the cool thing about Dark Bribe cards is like there's a chance that you could do some really fun stuff with it. And I'm not just thinking like standard. There's a cool interaction to have. Irida Sinseeker, 4 mana 7/5 lifesteal battlecry. Send your deck to the void. At the start of your turns, get 2 cards from the void. So the cool thing about the void is that it replaces your deck entirely. So you just draw cards and then you go into fatigue. Meaning if you shuffle something into your deck, you're guaranteed to draw it. Question is that good? I think we're gonna have to wait and see what other cards interact with this to really know, because I guess the good thing about this is like you're kind of just saying like, I don't care about fatiguing, I'm gonna find the cards I need and then you're gonna die, or I'm gonna win the game somehow. I really don't know if it's gonna be that insane. We don't have a kill Jaden effect in standard currently, right? But I think it's like you put this on a deck where you don't care about fatigue, because if you were gonna die for the fatigue anyways, you probably already lost the game. No, imagine it's a card that's drawn from the void, permanently removed from there. I believe so, yeah. I don't know, this is a really interesting design. We'll have to wait and see how insane this actually ends up being. I think there should be more like interaction with this, but again, also the cool thing about this is like if you have like a no minion deck or a new like a card that cares about not having any minions in your deck, you could play this card and then you have no minions in your deck anymore, right? Because the void is not your deck, and that's really cool. Pretty cool. Aya Lotus Kingpin, 6 mana 6/3. You always go second. Battlecry, pick an upgraded counterfeit to replace your coins this game. You get 2. You can get the Jade coin, which you get Jade Golem, and it works just like it has always done. You have the Grimy Goon card, where you do 2 damage to a random enemy minion. And then Cabal coin, which you get a random 1-cost Kazakus potion, which is a huge throwback. I'm so shocked they did it. This card, how do I say this? I am fortunate enough to see a lot of the rogue cards that you guys will see very soon. I will say it like this. I think rogue looks really fun, like really fun. I'm not going to say good or bad because I don't want to put any expectation, but I think Rogue looks really fun to play. So I am hoping that this kind of effect is actually playable. I also think the idea of just making sure you always go second is awesome. I think that's really cool. I can't really evaluate a card like this without seeing the rest of the cards, though. So I don't want to say anything else without, because I don't want to spoil anything. But I will say that's like just blanket statement for this card right now. If you are a Rogue enjoyer, you're probably gonna love it. You're probably gonna love it. Perk, I already said that. I want to say send in my best friends early in the news. You'll be missed. For sure, Eddie, for sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words today, guys. Thank you, guys. You mentioned covering most of the official reveals. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I did a good job. The other cards, it seems bad, but maybe it'll work out. I mean, the cool thing about this card is, like, would you guys spend one card slot to guarantee to go second? Even if it had no interactions with anything else, how do you guys feel about that? Like, because there's sometimes with Rogue where it's like going second just feels so much better because of the combo. So if you don't feel like that's good enough, then it's like you have to wait and see probably the rest of the cards. Also, I believe if both people use Aya, then it's like 50-50 on who goes second. And Alex, I don't know if you're still here, right? But does this pop out at the start of the game? When like a Baku or a Renathal kind of thing? I don't know if it does. I'm gonna imagine it doesn't. Like, it's just like, oh, my opponent went second, XDD. The rule breaker has to start a game effect will pop up. This one I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, this card's cool though. Yeah, I'd wait to see the rest of the cards when we talk about it. All right, Mug Z, 6 mana, 6/7, start a game. If your deck has no other minions, get Mug's hero power, and if it has no spells, get Z's. Isn't that exciting? Mug's magic is your first minion each turn costs 2 less. Z's might is passive, and every 5th minion you play triggers its battle cry twice. Very cool card. Again, this is the type of card you have to wait and see the rest of the cards that they're going to give Shaman. But I will say, you could probably start guessing like how to build a deck for this. It's really interesting. Probably one of the coolest cards they've ever made. And I also want to reiterate, like I've said in the announcement video, I think this set is really cool. Like, I think this is like one of the most interesting mechanics of all time. We'll see if it ends up being really good, but I like the versatility. I think a card like this gets a lot of mileage from it because there's so many ways to play with it. Very, very excited to see how it ends up going. But again, it's really hard to kind of give like an overall analysis of this because you need to wait and see what the rest of the cards are. What rule does Muggsy break? I guess it's like you can have 2 different hero powers for the first time ever at the start of a game. You know what I mean? Also, I could be wrong, but I do think if you have no minions and no spells in your deck, you do actually get both hero powers. I think that is the case. So maybe in Wild that becomes a real thing. Probably not in Standard, but in Wilds that's potentially a real thing. But yeah, I seriously doubted that it's going to be the case in Standard. Maybe, I don't know. I'll just wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Are you gonna play Chaotic again in October when it releases? I will definitely try it out. I hope they send me products. Please. Okay, Moragg, 10 mana, 6/5 prepare. Death Rattle summon another demon from your deck. Give it Death Rattle, summon Moragg. I don't know how I feel about this card. It's extremely slow in my opinion. Because not only do you have to prepare it, like realistically, but it has to die as well, which is the other really important thing here. And then to get it back, you have to also have the other demon die, which is, I guess that's a good loop to have once you get going. It really depends. Does Warlock survive? You blow it up with Heralds? Alex, is that Disneyland though? Like, we're going back to Disneyland, I think, right? What is prepare? Here, let's leave that over so you can read it. You can only do this once, by the way. This would be good with Void Caller. Dude, that's a spoiler for the video that we're going to do after this. I have a really stupid idea after this. I just hope you guys know. I hope it's going to be entertaining. I have no idea. Well, again, it's one of these things with Moragg where it's like, if you could cheat it out, then it might, and obviously you could cheat it out with Prepare, but I'm talking like if you have like a Void Caller interaction where you don't have to spend the mana on it, this is very good. If there's any way to just rip it from your hand rather than actually preparing it, it might be just really, really strong, but I don't know. I'm not very optimistic on a card like this. It's very slow, it seems like. The fact that you have to prepare and skip a whole turn for this is really, really slow. So I guess what you could do is like Herald Location, have it on board, prepare the following turn, and then play Moragg, but it's like, that doesn't sound very good. We'll have to wait and see. Disguised Watchman. 2 mana, 2/4 can be played on either side. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all other friendly minions twice. Guys, is this not like the coolest mechanic of all time? Like, on God. I think this card is sick as fuck. I love the design of it. I think it's very good. I think there's a ton of use cases for a card like this. I love the idea that you can use it on both sides. Even if you just want to play it as a 2 mana 2/4 on your side, could be interesting. But I think most of the time you're playing the Battlecry. I just think the mechanic like this is sick. And the cool thing about this is, and I really hope this is the case. I really hope they just don't use this for this one expansion. I know it's very flavorful here, but like leaving this line of text for only one expansion is very, very depressing. Very cool. Imagine your opponent wanting an empty board for some reason and you drop this on their side. I mean, the use cases of this are insane, right? Like that's what makes a really, really good design card is there's so many ways to use it and all the options generally feel pretty great. I'm a huge fan of this mechanic. I really hope they bring it back. I hope it's not just a one-time thing. Chainbreaker Hogger, 8 mana 10/10 taunt, start a game, duplicate all legendary cards in your deck. Chat, I love this card. I love this card so much. I think it's incredible. I've been waiting for a card like this forever, man. Forever. This is a card that I don't care if it's bad. I'm willing to try it. But the fact is, for one card, you could have you could have 2 Deathwings, you could have 2 Altraxians, which is potentially just good enough, right? Like, would you add a card to your deck to get an extra Deathwing? I think I would. I think that's really strong. There's just a ton of different, I don't know. I think the design of this card is awesome too. And you get a 59 card deck. Wait, didn't they I was reading yesterday, didn't they not increase the max deck size to like 99 or something? Am I wrong about that? You know what's crazy, dude? Me and Eddie this Monday just recorded a video about it's called like the 60 legendary card deck. And then I did not realize that they were going to do this, which is very funny. Is that in the game right now, Alex? What's the reason for the intake number? Oh, I don't know. I'm not a WoW expert, unfortunately. I don't know. Some lore expert would know. Give a patch it's in. Okay, so it's not in the game yet. It's not in the game yet. Okay. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, Alex. We, now that there's 100 cards, potentially, Commander, thoughts? Thoughts? 100 cards, 1 legendary in your hand at all times that keeps coming back when it dies. Smile. Could be sick. Anyways, really cool card. I think it's actually very playable. I think the stat line's fine. Hogger as your commander sounds like cheating. Okay, well, just, I mean, we could ban him. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, now this legitimately here, I have not seen this card. Zuramat's Prison, 5 mana, 3 durability. Choose a card to discard to summon a 5/5 taunt. Death Rattle, free Zuramat who plays 1 each turn. What? Oh, he's a guy. 8 mana 8/8. At the end of your turn, play a card discarded by Zuramat's Prison. Oh. Wait, this card's kind of sick. Choose a card to discard to summon a 5/5. Is there a card currently in standard that can kill this? A video recommended to me that said Simo only to found out he passed away. Want to hear your thoughts on it since you guys seemed kind of close. Wait, I got a recommended to me that just said Simo only to found out he passed away. Want to hear your thoughts? Oh yeah, he unfortunately, man, he died earlier this week. I don't know what other thoughts you really want me to say, unfortunately, because it's just tragic. Yeah. That's kind of why we're taking a little bit more chill this morning, just to kind of you know. Yeah. Welcome home reopens the location. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those things where it's like, wait, hold on a second. Alex, question. Another question. If I discard a card and then I kill this and it summons this, does it just replay the same card over and over again? Because that would be, that's an interesting strategy. But then you'd have to keep it alive. I don't know. Cool card. I really think this actually has a lot of potential. That's a really interesting card. Big fan. Warden Maiev, 2 mana 1/4. After you play a minion, give it +3/+3. Yeah, if you only discarded one card. After you play a minion, give it +3/+3 and make it go dormant for 1 turn. Okay, when I saw this card, the first thing that came to my mind was something like Deos, where it's like you can go Maiev into Deos and then you can prepare Deos for the following turn so you can pop off. I think actually thinking back on it, it's probably just going to be played in every tempo oriented deck because the 2 mana 1/4 is already annoying to deal with. Zuramat plays a card that's removed from the pool. Oh, really? Oh, I would have known that without you saying it, because it just seems like it would just play endlessly out of the 3 options. Not that I think it's gonna live more than like a turn, but you know what I mean. Anyway, sorry, what was I saying? I think in aggro decks this card is very strong. I also think it just maybe in a combo deck, if you need to set up like a Brain or a Deos, it could also just be really good. This card just seems very strong. I'm very intrigued to see how powerful it ends up being in like an aggro tempo deck, because +3/+3 to make something dormant is actually insane. Why did I learn of Simo's death from your stream title, dickhead? What? Okay. That's just a ban. That's the weirdest comment I've ever read in my life. I'm gonna just acknowledge. I'm gonna ban you, but I'm gonna acknowledge what you said. If I didn't have it in the title, people would just come into this stream and be like, "Did you see that Simo died?" So, yeah. That was a weird comment. Black Market Auctioneer, 9 mana 4/4. It also has Prepare. And if you don't know what Prepare is, you can drag this card over your deck with leftover mana. Next turn, discount this by the amount spent +1 extra. You can only do this once. But if Gadgets in Auctioneer was played out of the 6 mana 4/4 and almost a 7 mana 4/4, I want to say, but I think 7 was a little too slow, but 6 was definitely played. There is a chance this card is actually fine. We'll have to wait and see whether or not you could actually take the turn to discount this, because I mean, you could do this on turn 3 if you have it in hand to get ready for like a turn 6. But I mean, once you get to turn 4, turn 5, then it gets a little sus. But I mean, we'll say not like I've said before, I have the privilege of seeing the rogue cards early. And there's a chance this card ends up being extremely interesting. So that's what I'm going to say to that. Very excited to see how this starts to come to fruition with all the cards coming, but we'll have to wait and see, right? We'll have to wait and see. Defias Smuggler is a 3-mana 2/3 prepare. Battlecry, give a friendly minion +2 attack and rush. I think at first glance this card looks really weak, but I actually think it has potential too. I think just having like a 0 mana give a minion rush could be very, very good. There's a lot of minions in this game that if you had rush, it'd be pretty decent. So are we willing to take a turn off basically for some later combo? Turn 1 preps are pretty good. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because then you're spending you get 2 mana discount for a 1 mana 2/3 give something rush. Something's weird about the art. What's wrong with it? You talking like this? Are you yapping on this? I don't think there's anything weird. No. Okay, and lastly is Vanessa the Ringleader. 6 mana 4/4 with prepare. After you play a card, get a random battlecry minion, cost 2 less. I mean, we already see it kind of getting played currently. The card has a lot of chances to just be really good. With more cards added to the game, she might get a little worse, but for the time being, seems like a pretty decent card. We'll have to wait and see. Again, I think like overall this set looks really fun. So I'm really excited to see the rest of the cards. And I'm excited to see how people react to it.